everybody, welcome to Fearless with Mary. I am your host, Mary Tibbetts, and I am so excited that you are here with me today. As most of you know, March is Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Month. So I will be doing a 4-part series for the month of March about everything to do with MS. In today's episode, I will be diving into common symptoms for people that have MS. So grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive in. Hi everybody. As everybody knows, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis last year. And I am so passionate about making a community for people in regards to this, because when I got diagnosed, when everything happened last year, and then I finally got my diagnosis, I felt like I didn't really have anybody to talk to or anywhere for me to go in the city that I live in. I tried to reach out to different organizations, but the times didn't work for me to go to meetings or whatever it was, which they didn't really offer anything. And I'm not a counselor on any level, but I just want everybody out there to know who has MS or even another autoimmune disease. I'm here. I got you. I might not be able to speak with you one-on-one, but I have started a group on Facebook. If you want to head over to Fearless with Mary on Facebook, there is a group there that you can join. It's a private group. It's just some tips and tricks from a whole bunch of MS warriors that I'm trying to build a community for everybody to join in, because at some point it would be really great for us to get together and not talk about the things that we can't do, but talk about the things that we can do, because I know my life changed completely with my diagnosis and with everything that happened with me last year. Looking back, I definitely should have gone to the doctors long before I did. And get checked out. That being said, MS is very, very hard to diagnose. So everything happens for a reason, and it brings you to the place that you are today. I strongly believe that everything that happened in April last year has brought me to the point I am today, and it's only going to help me grow. I love doing my podcast. I'm going to switch it up. I do want to have business on here as well, and other people's inspirational stories. That being said, I am going to start focusing more on MS because I want to try and reach out to as many people and try and help as many people as I possibly can. Even if it's just to be somebody for them to chat with through the Facebook group, or, meet in person when we do the group meetings at some point when that happens, because I'm damn determined to make it happen. I also do coaching. As people know, I've been an entrepreneur for over 20 years. I know business. I'll tell you, I know business. It's pretty crazy. So I do coaching, and then I'm also getting into public speaking. But my public speaking will be about MS, advocating, business, owning a business with MS, getting through all of everything, and just trying to move forward in your life and thrive, because I am all about thriving. I have been pretty much my whole life, and I just want to see other people succeed and thrive, even though they have this very strange disease, autoimmune disorder, whatever you want to call it, because it's just odd. And we're going to get into that. I'm going to just tell you a little story about this week. So Sunday, I felt great. I went to the gym. I went for a short run, did weights, did stretching. It was amazing. Monday, got up. I had a rocket up my ass. I'm like, today's going to be the best day of my life, because with MS, you wake up on days like that and you forget that if you use all of your spoons, I guess, or all of your energy on that day, the rest of the week's going to be very different for you than it would have before. So Monday I got up, so happy to be alive, like I am pretty much every single morning. Get ready, go to the gym. I am training to do a half marathon this year. It's going to be very difficult, but I am training to do a half marathon this year because last year my goal was to do it before I turned 45. But then I had registered for the half marathon and 2 days later ended up in the hospital. I registered on the Sunday. 2 days later ended up in the hospital because I had seizures, and then my whole world changed. So I did not run it last year. I did register to do the half marathon this year. Go to the gym on Monday, run a 5K. So happy. Do my stretches, come home, get in the office, start doing all of my connecting with people, figuring out who I can talk to start having speaking engagements about all of this, everything to do with MS, to educate people on what it does to people that have it, educate employers, educate pretty much anybody, family members, just because the resources are out there, but you have to kind of dig. And I've been digging, so I want to try and make it easier for everybody. Anyways, so then Tuesday hit, and it was okay. Tuesday was okay. I was tired, but I'm like, okay, this is fine. Not a big deal. I'm not working out today. I'm just walking the dog. So it's not that big of a deal. I'm just a little tired. And then Wednesday hit, and I got up, came into my office, sat here, had so much work to do. I had meetings all Wednesday afternoon, got dressed, did my morning routine, had my healthy breakfast, did all of the things that I'm supposed to do to take care of myself. And then out of absolutely nowhere, bam, it hit me. And I had the worst fatigue on the face of the planet. I was so done. I felt like my legs and my brain and my chest had cement blocks on them that weighed 10,000 pounds each. And I was just done. I went upstairs, still had my clothes on, climbed into bed, taking the deep breaths. And I'm sure that people who have MS that are listening to this, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because it can come on like that. And you are just, I don't know. You turn into a little bit of a different person because my brain shut down, my body shuts down, and then I lay down, and then I get like depression sets in. It's very strange because I'm not a depressed person as a rule, but then depression kind of comes over you because you're thinking to yourself, why is this happening? Why can't I do the things that I used to do? This is complete bullshit, and I just need to be able to get through it. Knowing damn well that you actually need to take the breaks, because I tell you the things that I did on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, all that. That being said, I rested completely after work in the evenings. I did everything that I was supposed to do. So just because I did the runs and I did the exercises doesn't mean that that should have happened. But it does, because when you have MS, it just comes on. It's crazy. It's the craziest thing. And people that don't have MS, they're like, I had somebody, because I had done a video and I had put it up on TikTok and YouTube, because I'm doing all the things, trying to reach as many people as I can and explain to people what's going on. And I had put a video up of me laying in bed that day because I was just so done. And I had a person comment, and I'm like, you didn't even read the post, dude. And he was like, well, a cold shower and coffee would have helped that. Well, no, it actually wouldn't help that. But thanks, that's not really a tip that you give somebody who is trying to explain to you what fatigue and MS is, because I promise you, a coffee and a cold shower doesn't help shit when that's what's going on. So yeah, there's that. And yes, I'm a little sweary today because it just irritated me. Extreme fatigue is crazy. Like it's just, it comes over people with MS, and it's the strangest feeling. I don't think I've ever felt anything like it. So that's one of the symptoms for people who have MS. Keep in mind, all of these symptoms you may not have. The person you know with MS may not have all of these symptoms. They might not have any of the symptoms. It just depends, because this disease is not the same for every single person. It's very different for everybody. So I'll have people say, my neighbor's friend's cousin has MS and they do this and they don't need to take medication and they didn't have to do anything and they're fine. Okay, but that's what the cousin is saying, or that's what the neighbor is saying. But have you actually had a conversation with this person? And if you have and they say that they're fine, that's amazing. I am so happy for them. That is great. And please, if they have any tips and tricks for people who are struggling, please tell them to share, because we would love to know, because we are trying our darndest to get through every single day. Okay, so now we're going to go into the list of all of the symptoms that people with MS could have, may have, probably have. It just depends. Any of the ones that I actually have, I will touch on and just give examples for anybody that is struggling right now. Number one that I have is numbness and tingling. It's an unpleasant feeling in the skin caused by the nerve damage. I have numbness and tingling all of the time, which is one of the reasons I say I should have gone to the doctor a long time ago, because my right leg would go numb all the time. I remember my kids were young and we had taken them to Disney World in Florida. And if anybody knows, that is a very, very long flight from where we live. So I'm in Alberta, Canada, Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. And we had to fly from here to Toronto and then Toronto to Florida. And then on the way back, we had to fly from Florida to New Jersey and then New Jersey to Toronto and then Toronto to Edmonton. Like it's just super, super long flight, but we wanted to go. And we got about halfway between Edmonton and Toronto on the first leg of the trip. And my right hip and leg went completely numb. And it was numb, I would say, probably for about a month and a half. And I just thought it was a pinched nerve. And looking back and I did acupuncture and all of the stuff when we got back from our trip. And it's crazy because my foot was dropping while we were on vacation. And I just thought it was because I had a pinched nerve. Looking back, it was most likely MS. But I don't know. I'm just guessing, because I'm always trying to figure out when it could have started for me, because they can never give you a definite answer on what happened in your life to kind of start the ball rolling for you to have MS. So I should have advocated for myself a little bit more back then, but I was very young and I didn't know, I didn't even know what MS was. So if you have something like that going on, if you have numbness or tingling or whatever it is, it very well could just be a pinched nerve. I would just recommend maybe getting it checked out. That's all. That's all I'm saying about that. The next one is pain. Pain can be caused by nerve damage and can feel unusual. I have so much pain, I can't even explain all of it, but I have constant pain. I have been in chronic pain, I would say, for at least 20 years, again on my right side. It's the strange thing. I've had hip pain and leg pain, and I just always thought it was from running and from working out. It's not. And then from my knees, the lower part of my knees down to my feet, I get this extreme burning in my legs, and they get so hot and it hurts so much, and it usually happens at night, and I can't sleep and I can't get comfortable. And then you stick your legs out of the blanket and then you actually get cold. So you put them back in, and it's just a whole thing. So I have extreme pain in my legs and my hips, and sometimes I get shooting pains just throughout my body. I also get these things, they're called ice pick headaches. It's horrible. It feels like somebody's taking an ice pick and they're actually jamming it into your head. It's the worst feeling on the face of the planet. And it's funny because not funny, haha, but ironic because I've asked my doctor if that is something to do with MS, and the doctor's like, nope, nope, it's not. And I'm like, okay, but then I talked to a different doctor and they have said 100% that's exactly what it's from. So again, I'm just doing the research and looking into it, and I'm advocating for myself at this point. The next one is dizziness and vertigo. Dizziness can be an early symptom of MS, but is not always present. I wouldn't say that I really get dizzy. Once in a while I get dizzy. Usually it's if I stand up too fast, so I can't even really speak on that one. Vision problems, blurred or double vision can occur due to inflammation of the optic nerve. Again, I did not really have that. Anything wrong with my optic nerve, which is strange. Although when I was having my seizures, I did have vision problems, but I'm pretty sure that that had something to do with my seizures, which I find out later actually weren't seizures. I just call them that because it's the best way for me to explain it. But it's a flare up on my right side of my body because it just stops working, and then I get all of the strange movement, all of the twitching and every. It's just and then it tightens up. I don't know. We have a video of me having one somewhere because we had to send it to the doctor, but I don't really want to share that because it's not very pretty, and I don't really want everybody to see that. The next one is bladder and bowel issues. Bladder dysfunction and bowel symptoms can occur due to nervous system damage. I do have this issue. I've always had issues with this. I think since I actually had my oldest son, who is now 23, I've always had issues with this. And then when I went to the doctor, they did tests and everything on me, and I have something called an MS bladder, where sometimes it's hard for me to go to the washroom, or it feels like I have to go to the washroom all the time, and I think it's a bladder infection, and it's not a bladder infection. It's just because everything is inflamed, and it just makes it seem like I have to go when I don't actually have to go. Not like you guys really want to know that, but I thought I would share it anyway. The next one is cognitive changes. Slow processing, difficulty finding words, and memory loss are common. Good Lord, good Lord. I'm telling you right now, this is literally my life. I can't. Oh, I have a hard time remembering anything. I have a calendar right here, a calendar on two calendars on the computer, a calendar on my phone, and then I have a board that has little sticky notes for each day that I was using before Christmas. I'm actually pulling it out again this week because I've been really scattered since I haven't been using it. So I take color-coded sticky notes for each day of the week, write down times, dates, everything, appointments that I'm going to, and then as I do them, then I can just pull it off and be done with it and not have to think about it anymore. That memory is horrible for me, and sometimes when people are talking to me, it takes me a little bit longer to process what they're saying. In the evenings, if I'm tired or if I've had a long day, or even if just because, the way the universe aligns, sometimes I can't get my words out. I can't talk. It's weird, especially because I'm a talker. Honestly, I have a podcast, for crying out loud, and I'm a professional speaker and I'm a coach. It doesn't mean that I'm any less smart than I was before. It just means that it takes me a little bit longer to process things, which is totally fine. I am figuring it out and working around it. I do notice if I take my vitamins and minerals and all of that good stuff, I am so much better. But if I miss a day doing it, the next day's tough on me for trying to remember everything. So that's just my opinion. I would look into it if I were you, if that's something that is bothering you or happening to you. Sexual dysfunction, loss of libido, inadequate vaginal lubrication, and orgasmic dysfunction are common for women. I can't talk on that. Fortunately, I can't talk on that. In, inappropriate effects, uncontrolled or involuntary laughter or crying. I do actually, I don't think that this happens to me a lot, but I know that it did. We went away for my husband's birthday in February. His birthday's in January. We went in February, and we had gone out for dinner, and I don't know. I don't even know what happened. And I even told him, I just broke down crying for absolutely no reason at dinner. It was the weirdest thing. And sometimes at home, I'll just start laughing and there's really nothing funny. So that might be a thing for me. I don't know. Or maybe I'm just, strange. I don't know. But that's something. I should have wore my I don't know t-shirt today because I just keep saying I don't know when I do actually know a lot of things, but just not all of this 100% because I don't have all of the symptoms like some other people do. Poor coordination can be a disabling symptom. Yeah. I'm just going to say, yep. Because, yeah, I am so not coordinated on any level anymore. It's, I used to say, oh my goodness, I'm such a klutz, but that actually is not what was going on. I walk into walls. This morning I was coming into the office, I had my cup of tea, and I walked into the wall, and there is a huge space between the door and the wall. How the hell did I walk into the wall? I walk into the fridge, I walk into the counters. When I owned the flower shop, I would come home at the end of the week and my legs would be black and blue and my hips because I would always run into the tables. But it was crazy because there was so much space for me to get around it, but somehow I would fall into it every single time. Here is, I would say, the most common symptom of people that have MS. I don't know if everybody has it, but everybody that I've talked to that has multiple sclerosis is the fatigue. And we've already gone over the fatigue portion of it. I just want to touch on it again. So fatigue in MS can feel overwhelming and have no obvious cause. When it comes to the fatigue in MS, it is so overwhelming. And for everybody out there that does have MS and they do suffer from the fatigue of it, just know you are not alone and you need to just be kind to yourself because I know I beat myself up all the time with it and I shouldn't. I shouldn't because I can't help it. You can't help it. I can't help it. It doesn't matter what you do. Unfortunately, I exercise regularly. I have cut pretty much any inflammatory food out of my diet. I would say I'm about 97% clean, aside from the few little pieces of dark chocolate that I'll have in the evening. Aside from that, the exercise, the eating properly, the sleep, I sleep like a boss. If I don't get at least 7.5, 8 hours sleep on the regular, I'm a hot mess express. So since I've been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, I try to make sure that I get at least 8.5 hours of sleep a night. Again, as long as the pain isn't so bad that I can't fall asleep. Just know you're not alone, my friend. You're not alone. Reach out to MS groups, join our group on Facebook, whatever you need to do. We are here. We want to help. I want to help. I shouldn't say we, I want to help. This is what I feel like I was meant to do, is to help people that are struggling with this because I just, yeah, I know how it feels. Okay, other symptoms. Muscle weakness and stiffness. Yep, I get that. Comes along with the territory. Depression. As a rule, I'm not a depressed person, I would say. Yeah, I don't think that I'm very depressed. I guess I would know if I was. I do know that I can have days where I'm so sad and so overwhelmed and so depressed that I don't get out of my clothes. But, well, I shouldn't say that because I have a rule now, unless it's Sunday, because Sunday I don't want to put makeup on and I don't want to look nice unless we're going to church. So if we aren't going to church on Sunday, I literally wear my sweatpants, my hoodie, no makeup, hair in a bun. That is what I do. During the week, I have a rule that I have to get up, I have to shower, I have to do my hair, I have to put makeup on, and I have to put my earrings in. And even if getting up and getting dressed means putting on a hoodie and a pair of tights, it's still not my pajamas. So this is a rule I implemented, I'd say back in October, because I noticed myself slipping into like this weird place and I didn't like it at all. So I had to take the steps for me to pull myself out of it. But depression is huge with MS. So if you're having this, please talk to somebody. Talk to your doctor, talk to a friend, talk to a therapist, talk to anybody. Just talk to somebody. Don't keep it all in because it's really difficult. I get lucky because I'm married to my best friend, so I get to talk to him about it, and I'm so grateful for him. I don't want to start crying. So yeah, he helps me through a lot of the low times that I'm having, which doesn't happen very often, but when it does, whew, it's a doozy. Okay, and oral health. I can actually touch on this, but I was told that it was because when I had my children that they sucked all of the calcium out of me, which I do believe is true because I used to have like the best teeth. I didn't even have a cavity until I was 27. And then after I had the kids, and I'm crazy about my teeth. I love brushing my teeth. It's one of my favorite things. But I actually had all four of my back teeth on both sides on the top of my mouth. They all broke in half and they had to rebuild all of them. And I've had just a lot of oral health problems, a lot of tooth problems, a lot of, I don't even know. So I'm going to actually talk to my dentist and see if having MS could be related to that, because if it is, that would explain so much more. That being said, I also have a really hard time when I go to the dentist, even to get my teeth cleaned, because it hits all of the nerve endings in my mouth and I'm a hot mess for 2 days. And I've had that probably for about 15, 20 years. Every time I would go to the dentist, I would be just exhausted and fatigued for at least 48 hours after I went. And it's because it's trauma to your nerves, right? When you go, even if it's for a cleaning, because they touch down on the gums. So again, that could be something to do with MS if you have that when you go to the dentist. These are just some of the symptoms that come along with having MS. I'm going to touch on a whole bunch this month. I'm going to touch on diet and exercise and more symptoms and outreach. I hope that if you're listening to this and you have MS, I hope that this helps you a little bit. I also hope that if you're listening and you don't have MS, but you know somebody that does, that it explains it a little bit. I am completely open to questions from everybody. So if you guys have questions, feel free to leave it in the comment boxes. I will definitely get back to you, or you can go to my website, which is also in the links, and you can email me, or you can Facebook me, Instagram me, TikTok, YouTube, you name it. LinkedIn, you can find me pretty much anywhere, and I would be more than happy to have a conversation with you in regards to just being diagnosed with MS, or you've had MS for a long time and you have tips and tricks for me, or you even want to come on the podcast to talk about it. I would love that. Or if you're somebody that knows somebody that has MS, a family member, maybe your wife or your husband got diagnosed with MS, or your child got diagnosed with MS, and you're just looking for some answers, please feel free to reach out to me. I can help you find resources and all of that stuff. So, thank you very much for listening today. This month, all of the podcasts are going to be very near and dear to my heart because it's what I'm going through, what I'm living with, and what I'm learning. Next month is my 1 year. I'm getting teary. I'm really sorry. My 1 year from my life changing forever. So thank you very much for tuning in, and I hope this helped somebody today. I appreciate all of you who have come along on this journey with me and who continue to come along on this journey with me, because let's face it, it's not going away anytime soon, but I also want to be able to take care of myself and help other people learn to take care of themselves. So thank you for tuning in. I hope everybody has a great week, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Fearless with Mary podcast. I appreciate you being here. If you love this episode, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you never miss an update. And if you're ready to take things to the next level with one-on-one mentoring, head on over to my website at www.fearlesswithmarytibbetts.ca to learn more. Let's get you moving towards big, fearless action. See you next time.